The moment we have all been waiting for has finally arrived. After years of training, countless battles, and a war that pushed the Clover Kingdom to the very brink of extinction, the reign of terror under the self-proclaimed Wizard Emperor, Lucius Zogratis, has come to a staggering conclusion. In the latest sequence of Black Clover, spanning chapters 387 through 389, Asta and Yuno have finally delivered the finishing blow. The battle for the future is over, and as the dust settles, the kingdom is left looking toward its next leader. Chapter 387, titled Limit Breakers, opens with a stunning color page that perfectly encapsulates this final showdown. On this page, we see Asta and Yuno standing side by side, radiating a level of power that transcends anything we've seen before. They are in their fully fledged fusion forms, representing the absolute peak of their potential. They haven't just reached a new level, they have fundamentally broken the ceiling of what magic and anti-magic can achieve. The immediate evidence of this is written all over Lucius's face and his body. The invaders' arms have been completely ruined by their opening assault, a sight that seemed impossible just a few chapters ago. As Lucius falls back, reeling from the damage, he comes to a chilling realization. Asta and Yuno haven't just powered up, they have achieved a state of perfect fusion with their respective partners. Asta with his devil, Liba, and Yuno with the wind spirit, Sylph. Lucius recognizes Asta's form, having seen its raw potential during the previous struggle against Lucifero. However, Yuno has reached a comparable supreme level because the two rivals have spent this entire conflict pushing one another. Their rivalry isn't just a plot point, it is a literal power source that has allowed them to match the strength of a godlike being. Asta, never one to mince words, lets Lucius know exactly why he is losing. He tells the villain that a man like him, someone who only causes trouble by himself and for himself, could never hope to become as strong as two brothers who fight for the sake of others. Despite the catastrophic damage to his body, Lucius isn't ready to concede. With a sly, villainous grin, he uses his overwhelming magic to heal his ruined arms. He then launches a barrage of serpentine spells, twisting the very fabric of reality while arrogantly declaring himself the one true Wizard Emperor. Lucius believes his power makes him untouchable. He mocks the boys, stating that no matter how strong they become, they can never truly defeat a being who has transcended humanity. But Asta and Yuno aren't buying the hype anymore. They immediately question his self-appointed title, cutting through his complex spells and his rhetoric with equal ease. They make one thing very clear: the title of Wizard Emperor that Lucius claims is a fantasy. It doesn't exist because no one acknowledges him. As the eyes of the entire kingdom watch the battle unfold from the ruins below, the duo shouts a truth that shakes Lucius to his core. They explain that the dream they share isn't to be a tyrant who rules through fear or a salvation that is forced upon the weak. They dream of becoming a wizard king who has been acknowledged and accepted by everyone. To them, power without acknowledgement is just bullying. With their resolve hardened, they go on the offensive. They race after Lucius like hawks diving for prey. The battle moves back into the heart of the elevated kingdom, crashing down with enough force to send debris flying in every direction. As they land, spots of light flash to life as magic continues to clash throughout the city. The brothers are relentless, cutting their way through rubble and magical strikes in a dogged pursuit of their target. Asta is the first to close the distance. He manages to cut Lucius's face, prompting a violent lash out from the villain. Asta is struck by a massive wall of power and pushed back, but Yuno is right there to pick up the slack. Using his spirit halberd, Yuno breaks through the obstruction and swings wide, coming within inches of Lucius's throat. To defend himself, Lucius's sword begins to glow with an intense light, repelling Yuno and creating a moment of distance. Standing there, Lucius is forced to finally admire the sheer scale of Yuno's magical power. He admits that it is clear the young knight has achieved the supreme realm of magic. He even goes as far as to acknowledge Yuno's skills, seeing that Yuno's attacks are actually capable of reaching someone of his status. However, there is one thing Lucius simply cannot wrap his head around. He looks at Yuno and asks why a supreme magical talent, a prince of high standing and immense power, would ever choose to stand side by side with an inherently flawed being like Asta. Yuno's reply is a testament to their lifelong bond. He tells the villain that magical power has absolutely nothing to do with why they stand together. His focus remains unwavering as he claims that the man he truly needs to surpass, the only rival that matters, is Asta. In Yuno's eyes, Lucius isn't even enough to be considered a proper hurdle. These words hit Asta hard, and despite the chaos, the Black Bull can't help but flash a big smile. Lucius's reaction, however, is the polar opposite. His face warps, erupts with a mixture of contempt and pure frustration. He is clearly upset by the comparison and begins summoning massive orbs of power, resenting the thought that a magicless cur like Asta could be compared to him. Lucius directs this massive energy at Asta, insisting that a person without magical power shouldn't even be allowed to exist. He claims that by destroying Asta, he is actually saving him from his own flaws. Asta's response is powerful. He questions when he ever asked to be saved. He briefly reflects on the journey, all the pain, the frustration, and the despair of growing up without magic. But he doesn't view those as flaws. He tells Lucius that those experiences belong to him, and he won't let some would-be deity mess with them. He bellows that even if his life is unfair and imperfect, Lucius has no right to do as he pleases with it. His life is his alone. Chapter 388, titled The Hour of Judgment, starts with a sight we never thought we'd see. Lucius Zogratis is actually running away. As Asta and Yuno pursue him, they smash through the magical cube created by the research team. Below them, the civilians of the Clover Kingdom watch in total awe. The manga takes a beautiful moment to show us almost everyone we've met on this journey. Noct, Gordon, Charlotte, the Silva siblings, Magna, Luck, Gauche, Mimosa, Charmy, Vanessa, Gray, Seke, and the orphans from Hage. Every single one of them is cheering, telling the duo to finish this once and for all. The chase leads them out of the kingdom, breaking through mountains. Lucius launches swords behind him, hoping to outlast them. He believes that if he can just keep going, Asta and Yuno will eventually run out of steam, but he didn't account for the Silver Eagle. A dark, speedy blip appears on the battlefield, Noelle Silva. Despite her historic struggle with magic control, Noelle has reached a new level of precision. Totally exhausting the anti-magic cloak enveloping her, she launches a single, focused, watery projectile. Lucius is so focused on the brothers that he doesn't see it coming. The globule of water hits him square on the cheek. It's a small hit, but it creates the split-second opening Asta and Yuno needed. Asta rakes the demon slasher sword across Lucius's chest while Yuno breaks his guard. As anti-magic seeps into his core, Lucius is confronted internally by the true Wizard King, Julius Novachrono. Julius tells Lucius that the hour of judgment has arrived. He explains that Yuno and Asta move the people's hearts more than Lucius's version of salvation ever could. With one final combined strike, the duo cuts through the tyrant, and Lucius Zogratis finally falls. As chapter 389, the ultimate achievement begins, the power fades from our heroes. In a mental confrontation, Lucius still can't understand how he lost. Julius explains that he entrusted the safety of the kingdom to the Magic Knights, and they are the ones who ensured Lucius's defeat. Lucius argues that these knights won't be enough to create true peace, but Julius gives a very human answer. Nobody can know the future for certain, which is exactly why everyone continued to try their best. With that, Lucius fades away into nothingness. Back in reality, the kingdom erupts into cheers, but the victory is bittersweet. The land is in ruins. Heroes like Marileona, Jack the Ripper, and Seka are at death's door. Marileona even mentions that her magic is wearing off, and since she has no physical body to return to, she will soon die. She tells her brothers, Fuegoleon and Leo, that it is now up to the next generation. However, Julius Novachrono has one final task. Using his boundless grimoire, he performs a miracle. He rewinds the entirety of the Clover Kingdom to its state prior to the conflict. The dead are brought back to life, and the land is made whole. Civilians who were once lost are suddenly standing in disbelief. Seka cries his eyes out, basking in his second chance. Even Jack the Ripper is back, alive on a rooftop, but the cost is high. After leaving the kingdom in the hands of the next generation, the 28th Wizard King crumbles and fades away. Asta, Yuno, William, and Yami all offer a final salute to the man who gave them everything. The Great War is over. This concludes the Great War, and while it feels like a standard shonen ending, we have to look at the context. Yuki Tabata has been dealing with immense personal struggles, including family illness and the loss of a close friend. He was even forced to stay in a hotel near the Shueisha offices for days just to finish these chapters. The fight is over, but the story isn't finished. The Jump Giga Spring Preview describes the next 3 chapters as a super climax. We can expect these final chapters to finally decide who becomes the next Wizard King, Asta or Yuno. It has been an incredible journey following the magicless boy who refused to give up, and I will be here until the very final page. Who do you think takes the throne, Asta or Yuno?